It's Thursday, start again. It's Thursday, July 12th of 2018. I'm going to go pick up dinner. And this is Guy's Daily Drive. And hello. Yeah, apparently Tracy was at the library all day and forgot to put out any, pull any meat out of the freezer so that we could do something for dinner tonight. So we have this thing in the family when things like this happen, or neither one of us feels like cooking. We don't call it going for takeout. We don't call it. We're just too lazy or whatever to make dinner, and I'm as guilty of it as Tracy is. I'm not bagging on Tracy here. We call it accidental dinner because it's an accident that we're not going to cook, or it's an accident that as I was going someplace, I just happened to steer into a restaurant that has takeout food, got takeout food and brought it home. It was completely and entirely an accident. That's how that works. So that's accidental dinner. That's what that means. So accidental dinner can be really nearly anything. Typically, I think it started with Chinese food. And what we usually get for Chinese food, both Tracy and I really like sesame chicken. So we'll get a single large order of sesame chicken, which is more than enough for both of us. She likes egg drop soup, so we'll get some egg drop soup, and she'll usually have that. I don't typically have any of that, even though I like egg drop soup too. I will get myself 2 egg rolls, and depending on what mood I'm in, I will either get just like regular, pork egg rolls, or occasionally the place that we get our Chinese food from, they make their own egg rolls. So they also have like steak and cheese egg rolls, which are actually quite tasty. But I don't always get that. It seems to be a bit of overkill sometimes. But I'll get that, and I'll eat that with Chinese mustard, which is typically a little hotter than, actually a lot hotter, depending on where you get it, than regular mustard. Funny story. The first time I had real Chinese mustard, not the stuff that comes in, the little plastic packets. That's, that's warm, but it's not like real Chinese mustard. So, something that we used to do around Christmas time, my parents would come up from Florida here in Northern Virginia, and we would all meet sometime between Thanksgiving and New Year's at my sister's house in McLean. And, we'd get like everybody that was available to come would come to this. And sometimes we would have 20 to 30 people. So it was a lot of fun. Haven't done that in a very, very long time for various reasons. But one of the things that we used to enjoy doing was going to the D.C. Convention Center for the car show that they would have there. And usually, before we would actually hit the convention center, we would go over to Chinatown, and we would go and get Chinese food. Well, the very first time we did this, we go to this Chinese restaurant, and it's in Chinatown, and and so it's about as authentic as you're going to get here in the United States. Story for another day. And I got like one or two egg rolls. And when I'd had egg rolls before, I would usually use like soy sauce or, plum sauce, something along those lines. I'd never had them with hot mustard. And on the very first time that we did this downtown DC, I decided I was going to try the hot mustard. So we're all sitting there, and the egg rolls come to the table, and I reach over and I get the little dish that had the mustard in it, and I really kind of slather it on a lot more than now with some experience that I ever would use. But there was quite a bit, and fortunately, there was a glass of water there, which honestly, I guess in most ways doesn't really help. There was some tea and a few other things. Anyway, I take this egg roll that has this crazy amount of hot Chinese mustard on it, and I put it in my mouth, and I take a great big bite. Wow. I thought I was going to choke to death. The heat was immediate and overwhelming. And I seriously, and it was one of those things, you're at a restaurant, so you can't just spit it out. And it wasn't that the food was bad, it was just that there was so much heat coming off of this thing. So I'm chewing and I'm trying to get through the heat that's this egg roll. And I finally managed to do it, and there's like tears coming down my face, and I'm just kind of coughing, and everyone else at the table is laughing because they didn't say anything, but they could see what was about to happen, and it did. So ever since then, I still prefer Chinese mustard on my egg rolls, but I'm much more judicious on how much I put on, and I'm very, very cognizant of what the hot Chinese mustard is like at whatever restaurant that I'm in. I will usually somewhat surreptitiously, can't say the word, on the sly, get just a little bit and sample it so that I can tell how hot it's going to be before I put any on an egg roll. Yeah, big mistake. And that's not the first time something like that has happened to me. Going off topic, as I sometimes do, I was in Nairobi, Kenya, for a job that I used to have. And there was a restaurant that was recommended to us. It was called The Carnivore. And as you might imagine, The Carnivore had many different types of meat that you could eat that, like you're not going to go to a steak place and be able to order antelope or something along with lion steaks or giraffe or whatever it was that they happened to be selling. So I go to this restaurant, and I'd already kind of had antelope, and it was okay. It's a little gamey. It's a lot like deer if you've ever had deer. It can be somewhat of an acquired taste, and it's not really something I look forward to. It's not like, oh, I can't wait to get some antelope tonight. So I look at the menu, and they have lamb, and I love lamb. My sister-in-law, Marisa, makes probably the best lamb that I've ever had in my entire life. But anyway, I'm at this restaurant, the Carnivore, in Nairobi, Kenya, and I get lamb. And the lighting in the restaurant is kind of dark, so you can't really see exactly what's going on, which kind of led to, why what happened. So they bring out the food, and I don't remember who I was there with. I was there with a couple of people, and they bring out this little dish that has some kind of leafy substance in it. And I looked at it, and in the low light, it looked like spinach, which I happen to love. I love spinach. So I get my fork, and I get a great big heaping forkful of what I think is spinach, and I put it in my mouth, and I start to chew, and it's not spinach. It's mint. And again, you're at a restaurant. You can't really spit it out. So I'm chewing and I'm chewing and I'm chewing. And I'm really, really doing everything that I can to just kind of choke this down. But it was just so overwhelming and so disgusting. And I finally managed to swallow. But it was probably 5 to 10 minutes before I could eat anything else because it was just so nasty. The lamb eventually, of course, was delicious. But getting past that mint was really difficult. So I am about to pull into the shopping center where I'm going to pick up our dinner tonight. It's going to be Noodles and Company, which everybody likes. I haven't listened to the message from Tracy yet on what Guy Jr. wants, but Tracy almost always gets the same thing, which is a small pad thai with grilled chicken, and I will be happy to get that for her. I don't know what I'm going to get because I'll have to wait and see what I'm in the mood for when I get there, and I'll need, after I'm done recording this, I will need to listen to messages from home to see which, what it is that Guy wants. Some girl just walked by with a t-shirt. Okay, never mind. I'm letting myself get distracted. So, that's what I'm doing. So that's accidental dinner tonight. That is my Chinese hot mustard story and my carnivore lamb mint story. So if you would like to get a hold of me and maybe tell me what disgusting foods you've accidentally eaten, you can send me an email, guy@mymac.com, probably. You can also reach me on the Twitters, twitter.com/MacParrot, MacParrot, just one word, MacParrot. You can give me a voicemail if you really, really want to, 703-436-9501. I don't know when I'll ever get a chance to play it on the show. I'll play it someplace. This is the final weekend before the MacStock Conference and Expo, which is coming up July 21st and 22nd. I'm leaving next Wednesday, which is the 18th, for the drive to Chicago. It's going to be kind of a long drive, and I'll do some recording on the way in this car, my new car, which I'm so far still really, really digging. I'm loving this car. You can get $70 off. You can still get $70 off the price of the entire weekend festivities by using the coupon code MyMac, MYMAC, which will bring your price down to $179, which is crazy low for an event like this. All kinds of stuff going on here. I'm just going to keep going. So, thank you all for watching, and I shall catch you next time on Guy's Daily Drive. It's time to get the noodles.